Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We start off this Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with an episode of Fort Laramie starring Raymond Burr from 66 years ago, August 26, 1956, The Chaplain. And I want to thank all of you who have bought us a coffee. We have made our first significant purchase using our Buy Me a Coffee money. We have acquired several high-quality episodes of Captain Midnight. Now, I know we have had some Captain Midnight episodes, but we only had a very few. We have acquired 2 more significant collections of Captain Midnight. In addition, we have got a copy of some episodes of Casey Crime Photographer. And that's another really good series. Those of you who have listened to our Christmas show know we had a couple of episodes of that around Christmas time, but not much more. So now we're starting to build that collection out of Casey Crime Photographer, Stotts Cotsworth as Casey. And it's going to be fun. Thank you for helping us build our collections out here, and those of you who have contributed to our Buy Me a Coffee, thank you so much for helping us do that. And I especially want to thank you for joining us on this Friday, 26th day of August, 238th day of 2022, 127 days till we get to 2023. First news dispatched by telegraph on this date in 1858. The Second Battle of Bull Run began in the Civil War in 1862. 19th Amendment to the Constitution took effect on this date in 1920, giving women the right to vote. Charles de Gaulle entered Paris on this date in 1944. Russia announced the successful test of an intercontinental ballistic missile, a super long-range distance intercontinental multi-stage ballistic rocket, according to the Soviet news agency TASS. President Johnson nominated for a term of office in his own right on this date in 1964 at the Democratic National Convention in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The whole papal conflict on this date in 1978, and I call it conflict because it was really weird. Pope John Paul I elevated to the papacy on this date in 1978, beginning what would be a crazy, crazy summer.
Habemus Papam Sancte Romane Ecclesiae Cardinalem Luciani.
Ieri mattina io sono andato alla Sistina a votare tranquillamente. Mai avrei immaginato quello che stava per succedere.
Now, why do I say it was crazy? I guess it was just a crazy August and September, because I was beginning my teaching at the Wichita State University when this took place, and they thought I was kind of crazy when I talked about Pope John Paul I that morning on this date in 1978, and then 33 days later he would pass away, and his reign the shortest in papal history, resulting in the most recent year of 3 popes, the first to occur since 1605. And it was just crazy. Trust me, I don't have time to go into the story, but it was a crazy story, the things that happened to me in regards to all this. President Reagan proclaimed on this date in 1987, he proclaimed that September 11th, 1987, as 911 Emergency Number Day. At that point in time, 911, 9/11 had a significantly different designation. In 1997, President Clinton signed welfare reform into law.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I pledged to end welfare as we know it. I have worked very hard for 4 years to do just that. Today, the Congress will vote on legislation that gives us a chance to live up to that promise. To transform a broken system that traps too many people in a cycle of dependence to one that emphasizes work and independence. To give people on welfare a chance to draw a paycheck, not a welfare check.
That was a major shift in U.S. welfare policy, unfortunately. And I'm going to get political, but you know what's happening. It was on this date in 2003, the Columbia Accident Investigation Board released its final report on Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. Investigators concluding NASA's overconfident management and inattention to safety doomed the Space Shuttle Columbia as much as the damage to the craft did. In 2011, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, Boeing's all-new composite airliner, received certification from the FAA. And it was on this date in 2015, 2 U.S. journalists shot and killed by a disgruntled former co-worker while conducting a live report in Virginia. Among those passing away on this date in history, Lon Chaney Sr., composer Ralph Vaughan Williams, actors Kay Francis, Charles Lindbergh, the Flyer, actors Charles Boyer, Ted Knight, author Irving Stone, singer Laura Branigan, and playwright-author Neil Simon. Born on this date in history, inventor Lee DeForest, Jock Ewing on Dallas, Jim Davis, Mother Teresa, journalist Irving R. Levine, 45 years being a journalist across more than 24 countries. Geraldine Ferraro, the first female and first Italian-American vice presidential candidate of a major party, and voice actor Don LaFontaine.
Throughout history, man has marveled at the vast complexity of the universe. Without a single unified voice, humanity has been left searching for answers to the unknown. Now, one man has the power to change that and to spread his voice across the earth for all of mankind to hear. One man. Me.
Don LaFontaine had a great sense of humor. Don LaFontaine, born on this date back in 1940. Singer Vic Dana, 80 today. Valerie Simpson, another fine singer, 76 today, mostly known for her work with her late husband, Nicholas Ashford. Valerie Simpson, 76. Saxophonist, bandleader Branford Marcellus is 62. Corky from Life Goes On, Chris Burke, is 57. She won an Emmy Award for Mike and Molly, Melissa McCarthy, 52. The Mexican singer Thalia is 61. Macaulay Culkin, 42. And Keke Palmer, Aquila and the Bee, and now a TV game show host doing Password on NBC. Keke Palmer, 29 today. Though some of the people celebrating the 26th day of August is their birthday, if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
Going back 66 years, August 26, 1956, Raymond Burr, Fort Laramie, on this Friday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medi-Share for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medi-Share's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medi-Share is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Thanks for tuning in to this Friday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now we go back 66 years, August 26, 1956. Raymond Burr, Fort Laramie.
At the gallop, oh!
Fort-Laramie. Fort-Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier. The saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire. And the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
Captain?
Oh, hello, Sergeant.
These men are answering surgeon's call. Atkin, Chaplain, Furness, Harrison, Holt, Hook, Horner, Madison, Miller, Shaw, Rice.
Now, hold it, Sergeant. That's reading like a roll call of B Company.
It's close to that, sir.
How many total?
26.
Yesterday it was 18.
That's right, sir.
If this keeps up, we won't have a man answering fatigue call or guard mounting another couple of days. What's the matter with B Company, Sergeant?
I don't know, sir.
You asked the men?
I figure that's a job for the post surgeon.
Yeah, I'll be interested in the hospital reports. All right, that's all, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Gorse.
Yes, sir.
Is, your name on that list by any chance?
No, sir.
Are you ailing?
No, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
All right, Sergeant. That's all.
Yes, sir.
F Company, 14 men on surgeon's call. D Company, 19. B Company, 26. At this rate, we can hold tomorrow morning's drill on the hospital grounds.
Well, he's got most of the garrison over there, all right.
B Company seems to be suffering the most, Captain. Any explanations?
Not till I see the surgeon's report. I went over to the hospital right after fatigue call. Major Trucks was too busy to talk. He said in a couple hours he'd know something.
59 men. It's beginning to look like an epidemic.
Maybe.
You have some reservation about it?
Well, depends on what you call an epidemic. An epidemic of real sickness, anyway.
Real sickness?
I'm saying maybe they're just bored, and I'm saying if they are, it's a hard sickness to cure.
You cure boredom with activity, Captain. Lots of it.
Different activity, Major Daggett.
What do you mean?
Well, take B Company. We haven't been off the garrison for nearly 2 months. The days are all alike. The men do the same things the same way, day after day.
Army life depends on routine, Captain.
Because it's the most efficient way to organize men.
That's right.
When that efficiency begins to break down, do you stick to the routine just because it's the Army way?
Of course not.
Well, that's what I mean by different activity.
Well, let's look at our routine, Captain. First call for reveille's at 5:20. Reveille 5:30. Breakfast call 5:40. First call for drill 6:10. Drill 6:15 to 7:15. Recall from drill. Then surgeon's call, fatigue call. Any changes so far?
Well, we might make some in fatigue call.
If they don't clean up the post then, when would they do it?
They clean the post for 4 hours before dinner and 3 hours before supper. That's a lot of redding up.
Yeah, it is. But relieving some of the men isn't the answer.
They could change off. Bindle can always use some help at the sawmill, and the chaplain's an awful busy man, tending the post garden by himself most of the time.
That's something to think about. Of course, we don't know yet if we're battling an epidemic of boredom.
No. No, we don't.
You going over to the hospital?
Yeah, I thought I would.
Tell Major Trucks I know he's been busy, but he hasn't filed his receipts of canned goods shipments from the East for a month now. He's holding up our paperwork.
Canned goods?
Fruit, some vegetables, salt fish.
You been getting any fruit or vegetables to eat?
No, but we're being billed for it. Apparently it's been sent here. That's Major Trucks' department. You just tell him I need receipts.
Right, Major. Well, morning, Chaplain.
Oh, well, morning, Captain Quince.
Looks like you need a pick more than a shovel.
We need rain worse. I don't think the Lord means for me to have a garden sometimes.
Garden, Chaplain?
Well, and potatoes anyway. And hardy as they are, they don't grow well in hardpan.
Yeah, the Major was talking about putting garden detail on fatigue call. Guess you could use some help.
He spoke of it just this morning?
Oh, just a few minutes ago. Thought you could use a hand.
A hand? Just a few minutes ago, I put my shovel aside, looked up, and said aloud, "Let thine hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts." I don't know your belief, Captain, but mine rests strongly on the power of prayer.
Well, now, this help, Chaplain, it wouldn't be altogether unselfish.
Oh, no help is altogether unselfish.
We were thinking the men might spark a little to garden detail. A lot of them come from farms.
I've watched them come over here to the hospital from drill. Some of them just boys in their teens shuffling along like sick old men. I wonder if gardening is the answer.
Well, I'm hoping Major Trucks is finding that out right now. Have any of them complained to you, Chaplain?
Complained?
Well, if they're not sick, if they're just tired, if they got a belly full of the Army, they'd be likely to tell you.
Some of them would.
Well, it would help if we knew.
Captain, the men who seek me out know that their conversations are held in highest confidence.
Well, I'm not asking you to break faith with them, Chaplain, but this sickness, whatever it is growing.
You think it's a morale problem?
I've seen it happen. It's as effective as typhoid for making men useless if it gets a hold.
I can promise you this, Captain. I won't give you any names. But if I get more than my share of men telling me they've got a belly full, as you say, I'll see the Major hears about it.
You'll be seeing the sick later?
Mm-hmm. And praying for him.
Well, luck with your potato patch.
Thank you, Captain.
That's right, men. Put them as close together as you can. We need as many cots as we can get in the corridor.
You, got an emergency on your hands, Major Trucks?
I've got a 12-bed ward and 59 patients, Captain.
You had time to figure what it is that's laying so many men low?
I'm not through examining them all. So far, it could be 59 separate ailments, or 2, or 1.
Anything I can do?
You can get me a bigger hospital. The ward's full. I'm using the dining room, the isolation rooms, and the orderly rooms.
I can set up cots. You got plenty?
So far. The Major knows about this, does he?
He knows there's 59 men on surgeon's call.
What does he say?
Well, he's waiting for your report.
He's got a long wait coming.
Mentioned some other paperwork, receipts for canned goods.
Just got here this morning. First shipments we've had in 5 weeks.
Fruit, vegetables, salt fish?
Not unpacked yet. Hasn't been time.
Must have been some shipments that didn't get through. Major says he's been billed for over a month now.
It's happened before. Trains and stages, sometimes they're waylaid. Captain, you got some time?
Lots of time.
Let's go over to the storage room, unpack that canned goods.
Oh, I can handle it. No need you're leaving the men.
Might be nothing more important for me to do right now than unpack that food. We need help, though.
All right. I'll round up what I can and meet you at the storage room. No label on this batch. What carton did these cans come from, Sergeant? Sergeant?
I don't know, sir.
Well, any way of finding out?
I'm just unloading crates, sir. I ain't paying any mind to labels.
Open this can for me, Sergeant.
You tired too, Captain?
Open it. I'll get it, Gorse.
Couldn't seem to hold it fast. Here, I'll try it again.
Here, Gorse, wait a minute. Gorse, are you sick?
I'm tired. Maybe sick and tired, I don't know. I'm going back to my quarters, Captain. I just can't...
Gorse, watch out!
Major Trucks!
What happened to him?
He got to trembling, said he was going back to his quarters, and then he walked right into a stack of crates.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Major, he breathing?
His pulse is very slow. You talked to him just before this happened?
Yeah, he said he was tired. I knew that. He's been dragging for the past week. Gores don't drag, Major Trucks, unless there's something real wrong with him.
I've got men just like him upstairs in the ward. Played out, exhausted.
He couldn't lift a tin can.
Besides being so tired, did he seem changed? Act different?
You mean like he didn't care?
Yes, insolent. Insubordinate, even?
Well, for him, yeah.
Weaver, Nelson.
Yes?
Take the sergeant up to the isolation room. Tell my orderly to see he's comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Captain, come on outside a minute.
No.
August 26, 1956, Fort Laramie here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll have a look at the news from that date 66 years ago. That was a Sunday. And we'll have the conclusion of Fort Laramie. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Right now, these very important messages.
Whether you're taking your pets on the road or a walk around the block, you need to be aware of heat stroke. Hi, I am Dr. Jose Arce, immediate past president of the American Veterinary Medical Association. It's important that pets get out and enjoy the warm weather and fresh air, but here are some reminders to help keep your pets safe in the heat. Tune into the day's forecast to see how hot it will be. Limit exercise on hot days or schedule walks earlier or later on the day when it's cooler. If outside, stay on the grass instead of the hot pavement. Make sure your pet has unlimited fresh water and access to shade. Never leave your pet in a closed vehicle, and leave your pet at home in air conditioning when you go out. If you see signs of heat strokes in your pet, such as excessive panting, drooling, unsteadiness, or abnormal gum and tongue color, call your veterinarian or nearest emergency clinic. For more info on summer pet safety, visit avma.org. That's avma.org.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station. An episode of Fort Laramie starring Raymond Burr as it was broadcast Sunday, August 26, 1956. In the newspapers of that Sunday 66 years ago, these were some of the headlines. A well-placed source said yesterday the government may be in a position soon to forecast a budget surplus of something under $1 billion for June 30th, 1957. This would be well under the nearly $2 billion indicated by some congressional sources, but about double the $435 million surplus President Eisenhower figured on in his budget message to Congress last January. The administration is reviewing its income and spending estimates this week. The administration sources says he would be surprised if the mid-year revision will indicate a surplus of as much as $1 billion. A pre-dawn dynamite blast outside the home of a young white minister might have been a publicity stunt to build up interest in the bus boycott. That's according to Montgomery, Alabama Mayor W.A. Gale. The mayor promised that the police department would do everything possible to solve the mystery of the bombing, which early yesterday slightly damaged the home of 27-year-old Reverend Robert Grates, a pastor of a Negro church. Grates and his family, out of town. No one was injured. The minister, pastor of Trinity Lutheran Church, has actively supported the bus boycott since it got underway nearly 10 months ago. For a time, he was a driver in the boycott carpool. Police picked up a man in Brooklyn yesterday and whisked him to Nassau County headquarters in Mineola, New York, for questioning in the Peter Weinberg kidnapping case. The new arrest disclosed by Brooklyn police. They said 40-year-old Joseph Parisi was picked up on the street in the Williamsburg section and turned over to the Nassau County detectives to be taken to Mineola. Angelo John Marca, who police said has confessed kidnapping the 32-day-old Weinberg baby last July 4th, had told of leaving the child overnight with a friend in Brooklyn, but LaMarca refused to name the person, and police had begun an intensive check to find out if he was telling the truth about having an accomplice. Secretary of Labor James P. Mitchell said yesterday most collective bargaining agreements provide little help for the older worker looking for a job. He said wage contracts generally provide greater job benefits and more liberal benefits for employed workers who have been with one company for a long time than for shorter-term employees. But he said a new Labor Department study emphasizes the tragic situation of an older person who loses his job after building a considerable amount of seniority in it. The Pentagon yesterday reported the Boeing Airplane Company, the top defense contractor in 1955, receiving over $797 million worth of military business. General Motors ranked 14th on the department's list of the 100 firms receiving the largest volume of defense orders last year. However, of the more than $130 billion in military orders since the start of the Korean War, General Motors receiving the biggest share, that according to the Pentagon compilation. And the latest anti-communist joke circulating in Berlin, a teacher in the Soviet zone asked Hans to name the elements. He said water, earth, air, fire, and vodka. Said, why vodka? Child says, when my father sees a photograph of Khrushchev in the newspaper drinking vodka, he always says, now he's in his element again. Those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, August 26, 1956, on your radio, Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr, which continues in a moment here on this Friday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. On Saturday's Classic Radio Theater, we go back 72 years, August 27th, 1950. Frank Nelson, Jeff Reagan investigator, an episode entitled Gentlemen Prefer Horses. Boots Crenshaw, a former jockey that needs help, $100 worth of help. Boots sells tips on the horses that are guaranteed to win. It was the last show of the series as Frank Graham would commit suicide on September 3rd of 1950. The final episode of Jeff Reagan Investigator on Saturday's Classic Radio Theater. But now the conclusion of Fort Laramie, August 26, 1956, 66 years ago today.
What about Gorse? If I told you that whole shipment of canned food spoiled, would that seem like an answer?
About Gorse? No, it wouldn't. You can't be talking about food poisoning. No one's eaten any of that canned food.
Not food poisoning. We can handle that. Captain, the men up there in the hospital, 60 of them now with Sergeant Gorse. Some of them got pain, some haven't. Some are bleeding, some aren't. A few of them are complaining of their teeth, and some of them, like Gorse, aren't complaining. They're just sitting or laying and staring straight ahead.
I was willing to call it boredom. Made a big speech to Major Daggett about changing their routine, lifting their morale, maybe helping the chaplain with his garden.
I wish they were bored. I'd give anything if they were. Captain, I'm scared to death.
Oh, you'll find out what it is. You always do.
I know what it is.
All those men with different complaints, they all have the same thing?
In different stages. It's scurvy.
Yeah.
I've been afraid of it. That's why I requisitioned the canned fruit and vegetables. They'd have helped if we could use them. Scurvy being what it is, a deficiency disease, it's just about the easiest thing in the world to cure. All you got to do is feed the patients plenty of fresh fruit and vegetables.
Now, look at the chaplain's garden. Potatoes. And not many of them.
That's the trouble with the high plains. Short seasons. Too much rain, too little. Too cold in winter. Too hot in summer.
My men, Major. If we can't get them the right food...
They'll die, Captain. There won't be a thing we can do but let them.
Reply from Fort Fetterman, Captain. Regret no fresh vegetables or fruit here. Sending patrol to ranches in area not hopeful.
Oh, Fetterman's too close. We can't raise vegetables, they can't. Who else you telegraphed, Lieutenant?
Fort Sanders, Camp Brown, Fort Bridger.
Camp Brown's over in the Wind River Range. Bridger's at least 100 miles further.
Well, sir, Major Daggett said to try them all.
They're too far away.
I know that, sir.
Sure you do, Mr. Syberts, but keep trying.
I will, sir.
And any word you get, no matter where it's from, don't turn any of it down.
Yes, sir. Captain?
Yeah?
Sir, I've read a lot about scurvy, what causes it, what cures it. It can be cured.
With the right food.
The British Navy practically wiped it out as long ago as 1795, so there is hope, Captain.
Wiped it out? How, Mr. Syberts?
Lime juice?
Yeah. Lime juice.
Yes, sir. They made it a regulation. Each man was served a specific quantity of lime juice each day, and the threat of scurvy to ship crews just vanished.
Mr. Syberts, limes are kind of hard to come by in the high plains.
Well, I just thought if you knew there was hope, you'd feel better about things, Captain.
I'm not the one to worry about.
I know, sir, but...
But thanks, Lieutenant. And if you hear about any limes, even as far away as Fort Bridger, don't turn them down.
The last two settlers have spoken of a huckster, Captain, if a man's been through here selling eggs and fresh vegetables.
5 days ago, Chaplain. He could be anywhere by now.
The last settler said 5 days. The one before said 6. We're getting closer to it.
You still praying, Chaplain?
Of course.
You're long on hope, aren't you, sir?
You call it hope, Captain. My word is faith. But the word doesn't matter. I'm long on it, yes. I've built my life on it.
Another settler ahead.
And a fortunate settler, too. That stream is life to him.
Lodgepole Creek.
It's a better day, Captain.
I'll take your word for that.
No, even for a realist, it's a better day. We sent 2 sacks of onions back to Fort-Laramie this morning. We didn't do that yesterday.
All right, Chaplain. It's a better day. Patrol! Oh! Afternoon, mister.
Afternoon to you, soldiers.
We're down from Fort Laramie looking for fresh fruit, vegetables.
Oh, you got a good bit of looking ahead of you, soldier. Got potatoes.
Oh, we got potatoes, too.
I had some corn, but then, you know, my woman took sick, and caring for her, the corn went bad. Dried out. It makes a good fire, though, the dried corn. I've been using it to cook with.
Saving the logs, are you?
Oh, for winter. You know, it's cold as sin up here in the winters. I don't lay in dry logs now. My woman will just freeze this winter.
She's in the cabin, your wife?
You know, she ain't moved out of that cabin there in more than a month now.
Well, would you mind if I went in to see her?
Say, you some kind of doctor?
This is our chaplain, post chaplain at Fort Laramie.
Chaplain. That's like a parson, huh?
Like a parson, mister.
Well, she's a God-fearing woman. You know, you'll find that book there. It's right beside the bed. And it just might ease her some talking to a parson.
There's time, Captain?
You know what you have to do, Chaplain. Corporal Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
Move the patrol down to the stream. We'll water the horses while we're stopped.
Yes, sir. It's just a pity you didn't come through here a couple days ago, soldier. There's a huckster come through. I don't know as he had any fruit, but he had himself a big load of vegetables.
Yeah, we've been hearing about him.
If I'd had the price, I'd have stocked up for the woman and me. But, they come high. They come too high.
Heading south, was he?
Said he was bound for Cheyenne. Maybe they can meet his price in town that way, but it's too steep for a nester. See, I had my eye on some old stalks he had that was going to seed, they was, and I figured for planting, you know? But he just wasn't a mind to trade nothing. He said he'd let them spoil before he cut his price.
What were you trying to trade, potatoes?
Oh, he wouldn't hear to that. No, sir, I was willing to trade him... Say, soldier, you got thirst? I mean a real thirst. Eh? Here, now, that parson, he's going to be a while. You come along with me. I keep it in the cellar, you know, now that my woman don't use it for storing what she puts up.
What are you talking about, mister?
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. Here now. I just keep it right back here. Now, mind your feet. There's a sod step or two, and it's pitch dark. Whereas once we get there, dark sure don't matter.
Damp down here. Kind of musty.
Oh, it's all right. You ain't got a complaint in the world. Now, where... There. See what we're looking for. You don't have to see. Help yourself, soldier.
What is that? Corn whiskey?
Corn whiskey. I don't have the patience for that. I told you anyways, I had to burn my corn. No, sirree. This is hard cider. Here.
No, you drink it.
I mean to. It's just more neighborly if you take a swig first. Come on. Come on, get on with it. I'm dry as a bone.
I'm not too keen on hard cider.
You're thinking about the other man. Well, now, so this here little jug, this wouldn't make the rounds on a hot day like this. Oh.
All right.
That hits the spot, don't it?
That's pure vinegar.
Vinegar? Oh, I call that right picayune, my way of thinking. Here, give me that jug. I got a better feeling for it. Oh, that's smooth. That's smooth. Swig of that now and again. Just make a man forget his lot in life.
Now, wait a minute. How much of that you got, mister?
Yeah, that kind of grows on you, don't it? You know what? That's going to make you feel better once you come out of the coffin.
No, I want to know. How much you got?
Oh, I got a good bit of it. I make this up every year, whether there's need or not. I do. My woman, now, she just can't understand how there's no crocks around. Praise be, I got it put up in pickle barrels in all sizes, jugs, up and down.
I'll buy it from you, all of it. At a fair price.
Well, now, we could use the money. All of it?
Yeah, I'll buy it all. And give you back 2 jugs. Fair?
Praise be, soldier. I'd done a sight of praying, but I never figured...
Quince, are you down there?
I'm coming right up, Chaplain. Well, mister?
Well, I don't see as how I can rightly refuse. You pay for what you give me back, huh?
You set a price. I'll talk to you later.
I was looking for you down at the stream. Captain, our prayers have been answered. All along the stream, both sides are wild berries. Raspberries, currants, blackberries, all kinds.
Of course.
The men are picking them now. We'll take back all we can carry, and I'm selecting some strong young bushes to transplant along the North Platte. You're very pleased, aren't you?
I'm more hysterical than anything.
And that good woman in the cabin says the Indians on the Cheyenne Agency grow asparagus and rhubarb like it was buffalo grass. Captain, have you been drinking?
I sure have, Chaplain. Vinegar.
Vinegar?
Well, the settler calls it hard cider, and maybe it was once, but it's sure pure vinegar now.
Vinegar? Why, Major Truck said vinegar could be a help in arresting the tide of scurvy.
Yeah, he did. I'm buying all the settlers got.
You're certain it's vinegar? Because if it isn't, I'd have to search my soul.
The Chaplain, take my word. It's vinegar. And look on it this way. God moves in a mysterious way, his wonders to perform.
Yes. Yes, Captain, I believe I will.
That's you, Captain?
What does it look like? A stack of crates?
Yeah.
You still playing at being a sick man, Gorse?
It's a good life. Beats being a first sergeant.
Well, B Company can still use one. Any time you want to give up your act here and come back.
Oh, I ain't coming back as a first sergeant this time, Captain. I've been doing a lot of dreaming about that.
Oh, we might break down a stripe or two, seeing you probably couldn't handle the work anyway.
You just keep talking, Captain. I'll keep dreaming. You'll see I'm coming back at least a major, maybe even a colonel.
Going to take over the post now, are you?
No, just B Company. Just for a day or two, long enough to get a captain busted out.
I never counted on your gratitude.
Now, we got to get a captain for B Company who don't go around foisting vinegar on a sick man in the name of hard cider.
You're talking out of a fever. I'm going to tell Major Trucks to keep you here, if it isn't too hard on the rest of the ward. Go on now. Go back to your dream.
Captain?
Yeah?
Thanks.
You get well. One day we'll go back and thank that settler.
Fort-Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry, with Vic Perrin as Sergeant Gorse. The script was specially written for Fort-Laramie by Kathleen Height, with sound patterns by Bill James and Tom Henley, musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were Parley Bear, Paul Duboff, and Lawrence Dobkin. Jack Moyles is Major Daggett, and Harry Bartell is Lieutenant Seiberts.
Company, tension! Dismiss.
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
August 26, 1956, Fort-Laramie here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, so you can stream our shows on demand. If you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. Thank this station, support their advertisers, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.